Hi, my name is Ajit Singh, and my partners are Patrick Hawkins, Kushimran Kaur, Ka Singh Song, and Jaspinder Malli. And our topic today is Tesla's expansion into the country Brazil. So, a little bit about globalization first. Globalization links the organizations of many different societies, regardless of what cultural barriers and geographical distance that may be in the way. Globalization brings about an ease of trade, improved technology, and economic growth. And with that economic growth, it leads to investors wanting to take part and increase their bottom line as well. So, one strategy that we use to assess a country is the pestle analysis, which studies a country's macro environment, including the political, environmental, social, technological, economic, and legal institutions, to see what strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in expanding a business are. So for Brazil, our case is that they are part of the BRICS, the BRICS, coined for the top 5 emerging economies. Their main economic growth is particularly due to the mining industry and the exports of agricultural products in their ag sector. So throughout our presentation, the pestle analysis that is necessary for the business entry of Tesla Incorporated will be discussed to see the potential business for expansion in the country. When doing the pestle analysis on Brazil, we looked at the political side of things first. Brazil was renowned as South America's most powerful and most corrupt country. Citizens thought that the large budgets that they raised were most likely to be spent on mega events rather than other social issues that are more needed. And on this budget spending, the citizens did not know where and when the money was being spent and if it was being used for the budget that was being raised. There was zero transparency on this matter. And as the current president, Jair Bolsonaro, and family are accused of gaining wealth from public funds. So the citizens of Brazil think that the president and his family are gaining wealth in their family business through those political funds, those budgets that are being raised. They think that they're siphoning out those funds and putting them in their own accounts and benefiting from the citizens like that. The last thing that was mainly mentioned across our articles that we found was that money laundering was very popular in Brazil, and they did it through other neighboring developing countries around them. So in South America, they're surrounded by many countries that aren't as strong economically as Brazil, so they run their money through those countries so that it won't be traceable.
A country can be globalized through sports. In 2014, Brazil hosted the 2014 World Cup, and it significantly improved their economy. This project required years and years of planning, which included a budget of multi-billion dollars. Moving on, they also hosted the 2016 Olympics, and that forced the country to advance their infrastructure and build for more space and projects. Some projects they included were swimming pools, basketball courts, fields, hotels, restaurants, anything that increased in international investment, tourism, and international business opportunities. In all, it raised Brazil's GDP into an economic powerhouse.
The social analysis displays that 20% of the population in Brazil lives under the poverty line. Brazil is struggling to provide better quality jobs where citizens don't have to stress about involuntary wage cuts or lack of social security. Brazil has shown over the years a high power distance where less powerful individuals accept and respect the inequality set by upper management, as well as value masculinity, where individuals are driven through achievements, competition, and success. On the other hand, technology analysis shows the challenges Brazil is facing with low technological infrastructures throughout the country. The government has come up with various solutions to gain foreign individuals to invest in. The government has considered hybrid electronic vehicles to perform sustainability, as well as create better jobs and a better healthy living style.
Alright, so I'm going to be going over the environmental analysis for Tesla's expansion to Brazil. Brazil has a population of 180 million people. Most of those people live in urban areas with high pollution rates. One of Brazil's largest urban areas is Sao Paulo. It's known for its high pollution, overcrowding, and high poverty rates. Brazil is also home to the Amazon rainforest. It's one of the most ecologically diverse places in the world, with thousands of known species of plants and animals. It's unfortunately seen a giant issue with deforestation, as the agricultural demands of Brazil's two biggest cash crops, soy and cocoa, are continuing to grow. The Amazon forest loss as of June 2018 is 1,169 square kilometers, or 343 times the size of Central Park in New York City. Since 2007, there has been a 108% increase in deforestation in Brazil. Uh, Oceans and waterways are being damaged by human waste. And while all this environmental damage is going on, Brazil is also making an effort to try and clean things up. Since 2009, Brazil has acquired more than $10 billion in clean air investments. They have also promoted legislation of clean technology uh, that promotes land discounts for renewable energy, waste reduction, and water recycling. And Brazil currently has the highest wind capacity of anywhere in the world at 9 gigawatts, with a goal of 24 gigawatts by 2024. And Tesla coming to Brazil would help jumpstart these solutions to environmental issues, as well as promote green vehicle usage throughout the country.
Hi, my name is Carl, and I'm going to talk about the legal analysis in pastel. Brazil is working to pass the legislation to support electric vehicle production. As Brazil consumers can't afford the high cost of importing electric vehicles to Brazil, therefore the government initiated to work on a bill to lower the cost of producing electric vehicles. This bill was approved by the Commission for the Environment, Consumer Protection, and Monetary of Federal Senate, and it is the Senate Bill 174/2014. This bill helps to reduce the cost by lifting the import tax on manufacturers from purchasing parts for the electric vehicles, such as the batteries. Importing new automobiles has been difficult as the government restricts import goods with importing license and certificates that are issued by the traffic and environmental governmental agencies. However, 2 days after the approval of Senate bill, the committee drafted a resolution that allows electric vehicles to be exempt from some import fees, further pushing for a greener and cleaner automotive environment. Furthermore, Tesla is planning to open a gigafactory in Brazil to manufacture and sell the cars locally. Hence, they are talking with the Minister of Science, Technology, Innovation and Communication staff. As for the major historical legacies, the automotive industry began in 1956 in the city of Sao Paulo, and ever since that day the industry has grown and revolutionized the car manufacturing business. Some of the big car companies that began to invest in Brazil are Chevrolet, Ford, Volkswagen, and Fiat. On the Time Prince in 1996 illustrated that the government of Brazil banned car imports from 1974 to 1990, and without other competitors, all the companies mentioned above have the edge in the local consumer market. With this, Brazil local production factory began billions of dollar modernization programs. Other international car manufacturers such as Nissan, Suzuki, Hyundai, Honda, Toyota, and Renault are also trying to expand up their market in Brazil by importing cars in Brazil. They did this by hosting an imported car show that over 130,000 people have attended. Although they bring in the cars with a 35% tariff, however, it is below the 85% tariff imposed back in the 1990s. So to help Brazil automotive industry transition through an expensive endeavor, the car manufacturers want a reduction of 50% in the state and federal taxes levied on sales of locally manufactured vehicles. Also, the ban of imported electronic goods and robots are also lifted. Therefore, with these taxes reduced, the three big manufacturers company, which is General Motors, Fiat, and Ford, with can operate in full operation at 95% capacity. Hence, it is now the most profitable industry in the Brazilian economy.
Brazil's weak institutions consist of deforestation. They have converted the Amazon rainforest into agricultural and industrial sectors, 75% of which the land went to cattle ranching and agricultural development, which was mainly used for domestic and international beef production. New mines are also part of this deal. They have a conflict of interest between environmental non-government units and increased international and economic gain, but have not preserved the nature of the valley. This has caused businesses that further contribute to face hefty legal charges. Even though sanctions were placed to protect the environment, the deforestation still increased to over 28% in 1 year in the valley.
All right, now for the cultural analysis of Brazil. So Brazil is a Latin American country, but it's heavily influenced by its Portuguese roots. It was originally colonized by Portugal, and their official language is still Portuguese. They apply many Portuguese customs in the way they do business, such as their flexibility, tolerance, and commercialism. Brazil's population is very, very young, with over 50% of the population being under 20 years of age. Brazil has a culture with high levels of uncertainty avoidance and high levels of power distance as well. They take longer than many countries to conduct business negotiations and prefer small talk before getting into the details of the negotiation. Companies should be prepared to devote substantial resources to negotiations in Brazil, as they tend to take a little more time to develop than elsewhere.
Identifications of business opportunities. Brazil has been trying to use environmental products for the past few years. The main priority of the country is to reduce the carbon footprint made by humans. Tesla Inc. aims to transition this ideology by introducing sustainable supply energy through their cars, solar panels, and stuff. So it would be a great business idea for Brazil and Tesla to work together. So some opportunities for Brazil and Tesla that they have is low raw material cost. Lithium that Tesla uses for their cars is purchased from South America, so it'll be really inexpensive for Tesla to buy from neighboring countries. Where also Tesla and Brazil can have strong trade ties with neighboring countries when trading like the cars or other goods, which will help them have a competitive advantage. The first recommendation I would consider is to use the global standardization strategy, where Tesla can use the same marketing strategy around the world without having to create a new one just for Brazil. It will help minimize their marketing costs and maximize their profit by getting that consistency and their mission towards the Brazilian society. Another recommendation is to address criticism with electric cars. Even though Tesla cars are really great, environmentally friendly, but it's important to promote the benefits as well as letting the citizens know the convenience of using their vehicle. So tell them about the battery problem. Attract business partners and domestic gas stations to build a relationship and build charging stations around the world. The last recommendation is customer focused growth, listening to the customers and knowing what the Brazilians want will give them more power to understand their market and to create better sustainable products for that environment and create a better relationship with Brazil as well as neighboring countries.